How's it going, losers? So this is the second time lucky for me recording this video because I recorded it a few days ago, went to start editing it and the footage was unusable. The lighting was really weird, it was all blurry, I wasn't really focused, so I don't know what was going on with it, so I'm hoping the same thing doesn't happen again. But when I was in the gym recording for my Instagram yesterday, and by the way, make sure you go follow me on there, the camera was refusing to focus on me for some reason, and obviously because my eyes are that bad, I can't even make out on that wee screen there what the focus is like. And I went back and I couldn't use any of it. So hoping the same thing doesn't happen again today, or I will be swiftly on the phone to Sony giving them the right act about how bad their camera is. But anyway, if we do lose today's video, it's not going to be the end of the world because it's going to be a wee bit more of a light-hearted one, and I'm just going to give you guys a list of online fitness influencers, people, coaches, whatever word you want to use for it, who I personally watch. The list isn't going to be for anything in particular. These are just people who I've watched and either learned stuff from, or I watch them for entertainment, or for whatever reason. So I'm just going to tell you who they are, why I like them, and if you're sitting there wondering, which I'm sure many of you are, is, oh, I wonder who Uncle Tino actually likes to watch, because I like watching Uncle Tino, so who does my uncle like to watch? I'm going to give you that answer now. So I'm not going to rank them in any particular order in terms of worst to best, or most famous to least famous. I'm just going to give you the list, and obviously when it comes to fitness people, I'm at the very top of every list, so it's pretty much me at the top and then everybody else is a joint sort of second place. The first person I'll give you, who'll probably be the #2 ranked person in terms of knowledge behind myself, would be Mike Israetel. His channel is called Renaissance Period. His channel's called Renaissance Period. Fuck me. His channel's called Renaissance Periodization. He's so knowledgeable on all things, on the muscle building side of things, the strength side of things. He's even done a bit of jiu-jitsu as well, so he's sort of got a strength and conditioning background as well. And the thing I love most about Mike is he's got so much knowledge. He was actually a university lecturer and he's read all the studies, and he's just got such a wealth of information, but he doesn't rely on the science. Like when he tells you stuff, he can quote the science to say this is why I think what I think, but all the time he's actually got real world experience or real world examples to back it up, and he doesn't try and confuse you with the science. He'll maybe give you some scientific terms. Everything's so dumbed down, so if you think, oh, I couldn't understand somebody that's so super sciencey and technical, I promise you, you'd be able to understand him when he talks about fitness. That fucking went out of focus there, I think. Another person who can provide you with a lot of knowledge, but maybe also a little bit more of the kind of entertainment drama side of thing as well, is Coach Greg Doucette. I ended up on the Greg Doucette bandwagon pretty early when he had his whole thing with Jeff Cavaliere, which kind of made him like really kick off on social media with the whole fake plates thing or something like that, I can't really remember. And I've spent years watching him. There is only so much of him you can watch when you're putting out 2 videos a day, and a lot of his stuff, although he's been an elite level powerlifter, an elite level bodybuilder, a lot of the stuff he talks about is aimed at more the kind of beginner, intermediate person, but you can still learn a lot from him. He does lean more into the drama side because he knows it's good for views, and he always seems to end up arguing with someone, and he's recently going through a breakup, and he seems to have, I don't know if he's lost his marbles a wee bit or just got a severe case of the horniness, but he's been acting a wee bit weird recently, but he definitely knows what he's talking about when it comes to training. He'll give you practical advice laid out in a simple way. It won't bore you with any of the science, again, despite he has got a sort of scientific university background. But yeah, definitely you can learn a lot of stuff, and although he might be a wee bit controversial on some things, he's definitely right as far as I'm concerned about a lot of the things that he says. Now, someone for pure entertainment who, again, I'm claiming I was there right at the start when he first started, and that's Bro Science. When you actually look at his body of work, I think he might be the single funniest person on YouTube, because I don't think he's ever actually made a bad video. Like, it does take him like months at a time to get a video out, but when they do, they're all absolutely hilarious. They're all so relatable to the gym. You could probably actually learn something from him as well if you really want to try hard and make some of the Bro Science logic fit. You'll get a great laugh out of him. I've watched him for years. It's all light-hearted. He's just funny as fuck, and yes, he's definitely near the top of my all-time favourite just YouTuber influencers in general. This fucking keeps losing focus. Another one on the entertainment side, and I'll be honest, I don't know if this makes me sound like a bit of a prick, but don't really watch much of his YouTube stuff because I feel like there's not really too much I can actually learn from him. He's not so much an educator, but I think in terms of what I think the gym should be like in terms of your attitude towards it, how hard you train, and in terms of the overall package that you want to try and build for yourself, he encapsulates that, and that's Larry Wheels. And in a way, I feel like I'm just a smaller, whiter, less trend-induced Larry Wheels, if I'm being honest. He's as strong as an ox, he's got an absolutely brilliant physique, and he's not the most polished lifter in the world. Like, he does a lot of stuff that's maybe not massively technically correct in terms of how he does his lift or the way that he trains, but he trains that hard, and obviously there is the plethora of banned substances in his system as well, which does obviously help him. But at the same time, he trains so hard and he makes it work for him, and he gets amazing results from it. And I just think that when you're going at the gym, you're maybe not training necessarily to be a bodybuilder or a powerlifter. You're just training to get big and strong and have a good physique. That is pretty much what you should be striving towards. But again, just without all the banned substances. I think if you're a coach that's worth your salt, you're probably not going to learn too much on the coaching front other than wee sort of tidbits of what works for him. I think you can definitely get your actual training knowledge elsewhere, but I think if you want to just see some really cool shit, go and watch him. Now, someone who does know his stuff, and the person who I watch to for all things strength and conditioning, more so targeted towards the sort of combat sports which I'm involved in terms of my own training and my coaching, Phil Daru, who is, you probably won't know him by name unless you are familiar with the strength and conditioning coaching world, but he is a very top level coach. He's based in Florida, in America, I think it's Florida, Miami. He's coached some top athletes, name you'd probably know is Dustin Poirier, for those of you who watch UFC. He has been one of the top coaches now in MMA strength and conditioning for a number of years, and I watch all his stuff. It's all very super technical, and for me personally, sometimes I feel like stuff can be a wee bit overcomplicated and, you know, overboard with some of the things, and I think it could probably be dumbed down a wee bit. That's just simply my opinion. Definitely doesn't mean I'm right, and I'm certainly not going to like sit on my high horse too much about it, because right now he's got so much more credentials than me in terms of the results and the athletes that he's produced. So it's just from my own personal opinion watching it. Most of his stuff is aimed at sort of MMA, combat sports, but he does also just, you know, talk about training athletes in general and some stuff around mindset as well. And yeah, definitely worth giving him a little watch. And the last one I'll give you, who you could actually debate if he is an actual fitness content creator, but he definitely has operated in the fitness space before. He maybe doesn't talk a lot of technical gym work, but there is a reason that I'm putting him on this list, or there's two reasons. And one of them is because he is just the best talker that you'll ever hear. And the other reason is because when you actually listen to his stuff around mindset, and especially around being an athlete, I just personally agree with it so much. And that is the bad guy himself, Chael Sonnen. Your uncle's uncle could just talk all day and I just wouldn't get bored listening to it. He's just so good, he's so entertaining, and the way that he speaks about certain things, and especially around competing and training and just the overall sort of mindset thing. Obviously, you do need to have an interest in mixed martial arts to actually understand a lot of things he's saying, or for the stuff to be relatable. But when you're listening to him talk about certain things mindset wise and about competing, he just hits the nail on the head all the time. And even sometimes you think, I'm not sure if that's like entirely accurate, and then you start seeing the thing he's talking about unfold and you realise, yeah, like that was 100% right. So yeah, if you're an MMA fan, definitely go and watch him. If you're not an MMA fan, I don't know if he'd be the best person to watch, because you'll probably have to watch quite a lot of videos to get to the ones where he talks about the specifics around the mindset, but he's just class all round, so he's on this list. So that's my favourite social media fitness influencers. I'm going to make a list of the absolute worst ones, and Eddie Abu is going so far at the top of the list, because not only does he talk absolute pish, I can't go more than 3 seconds without seeing him on Instagram these days, so he's a double whammy. He's well at the top right now, but I will make a list in terms of all the other people that just talk absolute shite. I'd probably be top of some people's list for that one. Coaching inquiry form is linked below, and from this week I'm going to start to take on new clients again from the 1st of March. So if you are interested, drop me a little message. We can have a wee chat about how I can help you. Anything else you need to know about me or places to follow me are also in the description as well. That's all from me, and I will see you in the video next week.